Welcome back to the Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Gulseth.
If you are inspired by the reading list we just shared with you, there is even more to read this summer, or more ways to benefit from reading. Joining us today, Stephanie DiDonato. She's marketing content specialist at Concordia Publishing House. Stephanie, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here to talk to you about our program we have for you.
Yes, CPH Reads. I'm excited to talk about it. We talked about this last time, I think last year, when everyone was encouraged to read, especially during the summer. Why a summer reading program?
Well, there's so many reasons, but I think the biggest reason a summer reading program is going to be, for the kids. Kids aren't in school. A lot of them are maybe looking for things to do, or, you as a parent are looking for something for your kids to do. So maybe you can get a little bit of alone time yourself. And what a better way to make sure that they are still learning throughout the summer by having a reading program. And what's even better is for CPH, it also helps that the kids get to stay in God's Word, throughout the summer. So it's not just only through the school year.
So what are some of the benefits of a summer reading program and just getting more kids into books?
Well, as you know, books are such an important part of a kid's life and an adult's life. It can, help improve their reading skills, which of course is great, for the little kids that are just starting off to learn. And then for the older kids, that are, maybe learning larger vocabulary. It encourages a lifelong habit of reading, which I think is extremely important, because that reading is going to help us throughout life to, improve our skills and learn more on a day-to-day basis. The more we read, the more we learn. But again, kind of like I said, too, the benefits of, having this summer reading program is that they also get to stay centered on Christ throughout the entire summer, which I think is something really important, that it's not something that's just happening when, kids are in school, but it's something that's happening in the home as well. And this is such a great way to do that.
So who can participate in the CPH Reads program this summer?
Anyone, which is also fantastic. So that could be you, that could be any of your kids, students, anyone like that. So we actually have different age groups that you can register for, and they start at early childhood, which is the young kids who aren't reading on their own yet, and it goes all the way up to adults. So we have early childhood, elementary, youth, and adults. So literally anyone can register to join our CPH Reads program, which I think is wonderful because, again, reading is important for every age of our lives.
So how do we do this if everybody at our house wants to participate? Do we join as a whole family? Do we join as individuals? How do we do this if the whole family is ready to read?
Absolutely, which I think that'd be fantastic if the whole family does read. That's kind of one of our goals for this program this summer is, really getting families together and reading together with one another, whether that be, just in the same room or whether that be like me, reading to my son at night. But the way that you would do that is you'd actually register as a family. So you as a parent could go online to it's cph.org/reads, READS, and you would actually register as yourself, and then you would add participants to your family. So you could have just one individual, or you could have 10, depending on, or however many, depending on how many kids you have in your family. So it's pretty easy to do.
So talk us through the goals. How do we track reading? How do we earn points? What's all the behind the scenes of how this works?
Yes, that is a great question. I know a lot of people have questions about that. So setting goals for your family. Basically, if you want to be entered to win any of our fabulous prizes, which we do have a Fire HD tablet is our grand prize winner, which is pretty cool. So you'd be able to read on that. And then we also have runner-up prizes, as well as additional prizes such as a subscription to our Happy Times magazine. But to be entered to win any of the prizes, the goal is 1,000 points by August 13th. And then the way to actually log those is there's a couple of ways. One, if the kids kind of want to log those themselves, we sent out log cards to all the different Lutheran schools throughout the area. And they can actually, there's a little log card that they can keep track of their points. So it's something visual that they can see themselves, or, even you can see yourselves if you want to do that as well. You also could, just have a list if you want to. On the website, after you sign up, you can actually create a wish list of books that you want to read. So that's another great way to kind of keep goals for yourself. But then I think the real big thing here is that you're actually going to want to log all those points, though, on the website. If you don't log those on the website, then they're not going to be counted towards entering in for the prizes. So that's probably the most important thing, is to make sure that you're actually logging them and tracking them on the website.
Let's talk about what points you get for what you read. How do you, are there different levels of points, I guess, depending on what you read?
Right, correct. So every book counts, which is awesome. So we don't care, we just want people to get out there and read. However, if you read CPH books, those will be worth 100 points each. And then any non-CPH books are going to be worth 50 points each. And they're super easy to log, once it's time to actually start logging points, which starts on June 1st. All you would have to do is go onto the website, you would hit log points or log book, and then you would just start typing in the name of the book. And it's as easy as that. And it automatically knows if it's a CPH book or not. So pretty easy there.
So you talked about the book eligibility. How do we know what to read? There's so many options. Are there suggestions or lists we can follow?
Yes, you're right. There is a lot of things to read, isn't there? And I always have a long list of things I want to read. So we do have recommendations. We actually have reading lists that are recommended based on the different age groups. So we have an adult reading list, a youth and elementary, and an early childhood. And now those are going to be CPH books. So of course you can maximize your points if you're, reading the books off of that list. But it's great because it gives you the title, it gives you a little image of what the book actually looks like. So you can really get a feel, for what the book is going to be like, especially for those young kids. And then it actually, if you click on it as well from that, from the website, it will actually take you directly to buy those books if you're interested. So pretty easy.
So we just got a nice inspiring list from Pastor Boyle of the church fathers to read through this summer. Mm-hmm. So that certainly would work with this reading plan for the summer. And then a nice set of lists. And I looked through the list from CPH, and there are some pretty exhaustive lists of recommendations as well for all ages, for the early childhood, the elementary school age, and the youth teen, as well as adults. Lots of great ideas in there for what you can read to work through this summer reading plan. What's your favorite place to read? When you mentioned reading with your son, but also I'm gathering maybe some reading on your own. What's your favorite spot for reading when you want to sit down with a good book, Stephanie?
Honestly, especially lately, is just sitting on my couch. And actually, it's a little bit dark, and just kind of enjoying the silence and, snuggling up with a good book. I love a blanket too. So snuggling up with a blanket and a nice big book, and maybe, a hot cup of either coffee or tea, that is just so wonderful to me. So that would definitely be my personal happy place. However, I do love reading to my kids. They enjoy it too, especially, when they get to look at the pictures and point things out. I have a 2.5-year-old and he's very into trucks right now. So we read a truck book every single night and he loves pointing out all the different trucks. But I think it's great because I get to see him learning, which is super important to me. And it makes my heart happy, to be honest.
So what books are you looking forward to reading? I know some of the ones that I have in my head now, but what are some of the ones that you're looking forward to reading this summer?
Oh my gosh, I have so many that I've been wanting to read, especially from CPH. So we just came out with this one called Finding Hope, From Brokenness to Restoration, and that's by Heidi Gaiman. And that one is on my list. I just haven't had a chance to get around to reading it yet. But I feel like it's just a fantastic book for this point in time where we're kind of in this weird world and we're all trying to navigate it. And I think it's just something that, we're all broken and we can look to this book to kind of see how God can get us out of the brokenness. So that is probably one of my most looked to books for this summer, I think, is going to be something I'm looking forward to.
I think you will definitely enjoy Finding Hope. I'm about 3/4 of the way through it, and
good.
It's we love talking with Heidi. We got to talk with her not too long ago about Finding Hope, and I think you'll enjoy it. Certainly, a great book to include on your CPH summer reading plan. So definitely a good lineup. How do we register for CPH Reads?
Super easy. You would just go to cph.org/reads. That's READS. And it'll walk you through the process basically itself. If you do have kids, definitely want an adult to go ahead and sign up for the kids and maybe make that family account like we kind of talked about before. But it's super easy. You do need an email address, things like that. But you just go onto that website, sign up, and then once it's time to start logging points, which again it starts on June 1st and goes all the way through August 13th. And once that's ready, you can go ahead and start logging all your books. So.
Very good. Sarah, how many have you added to your reading list now since we started talking? I know you're like searching all the books in the list, adding them while we're talking.
Yep. Pretty much.
How many are on the list now? Is it like 25? I know we had 15 yesterday, or earlier.
Yep.
So
and we have our Lutheran Ladies Lounge book club.
Oh, very good. So even more.
Fantastic.
Steph, it has been great talking with you today. Our guest, Stephanie DiDonato, Marketing Content Specialist with Concordia Publishing House. Thanks for being our guest on the Coffee Hour.
Thank you both so much. I truly appreciate having you on today.
You've been listening to the Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Gulseth.
The Coffee Hour with Andy and Sarah is a production of KFUO. To support the Coffee Hour and KFUO Radio, visit KFUO.org. You can also text KFUO to 41444 or send an email to gifts@KFUO.org. And you can call us at 800-844-0524. KFUO. Christ for you, anytime, anywhere.